Oh, fam, we are 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. And let's talk dream scenarios. What if the Chargers consolidate their picks from 10 down to 6, traded up in the second and third rounds, and really address the most glaring needs on this team with some high end talent? Let's get into it.
Who's got it better than us?
All right. So, what I have devised here is to have a draft where we consolidate the 10 picks that we have down to 6, trade up in the second and third rounds, and really go after some high end talent that will fill out this roster, especially offensively, that will give this team a competing and fighting chance in 2025. So, let's run it down. We on PFF here doing a mock draft. So, like I said, we consolidate our picks down. We traded up in a few scenarios with different teams, and we have 2 seconds and 2/3 and a fourth in addition to our first round pick. So let's start the draft here and see what we get. I'm liking the way things flowed in this draft, so it should be pretty good for you guys. Let me know how you feel in the comments. So with the first pick, I'll go after Mecca Booker right away. It's not a no, it's a no brainer there for me to pick him in wide receiver there. And in the second round here coming up soon, I'm looking at wide receiver, outside wide receiver. I'm looking at tight end. So I go right in and look at the tight end, see where they're at. I see Mason Taylor, who I'm targeting, is there, as well as the running backs. Then I'm looking at the Ohio State kid, Queeson Junkins. I take him there. And then I double down in the second round and get the 57 pick, and then I go after a D lineman. A guy by the name of CJ West from Indiana. Really good run stopping, 6'2", 317-pound run stopping behemoth. So him in the middle of that defense alongside Tier Tart and other guys would definitely fit well for this team. So I think I'm going to take CJ West with this pick. And there it is from Indiana. Then we go into the third round, early third round. Then we go right back and looking for the tight end. And we get Mason Taylor right on cue, right there available. And then I believe we have another pick come up here in the third round. And I go in and look at the O-lineman here. Looking to solidify the interior of the O-line, being that we got wide receiver, halfback, D-line, and tight end addressed already. So now I'm looking at the interior D-lineman who can fill in for potential of the Trey Pipkins departure, or Zion, whoever is going to be the odd man out in this O-line. So I look at a few guys. I think I'm looking at Tate Rutledge and Luke Kandra here. I'm a little iffy on Willie Lampkin because he's 290 pounds versus 300 at least at a guard. But I look at Tate Rutledge for a second, didn't like his grade, so I definitely went after Luke Kandra with a better pass blocking grade, which we sorely need. So take Luke Kandra to supplant Trey Pipkins in the third round. And then we got one final pick here in the fourth round, and I'm looking at the edge rusher position because some project edges are still out here. And I think that edge rusher position can be addressed and add some depth there with going along with Bud Dupree, Khalil Mack, and Tuli Tupulopu. So I think that although I took a pick at corner here, I think I'll end up going edge. And there's a couple of guys that are speedy edge rusher that could be had here. And I was looking at Ahmad Hassanin. He had a decent run grade, but the pass rush grade wasn't that great. So I went with Antoine Powell-Ryland from VTech. He had 10 plus sacks this past season, runs a 4.6 40. Really athletic guy, and actually decent in the running game as well. So I think that he would be a great pickup in that space to get him in and bring him in to add to that pass rush room to develop him. So overall, I like what we did here. We got some high-end starters, clearly 4 starters from the gate. I think maybe 5 with Luke Kandra coming in and supplanting either a center or guard position, depending on what they would do with Zion Johnson. And I think Emeka Buka, Queeson Junkins, CJ West, and Mason Taylor all start day one. And that offense looks much better than it did in 2024. So we get a number 1 receiver. We get a running back that's going to complement Najee Harris. I think that's a good 1-2 combo. We get a run-stopping defensive lineman in CJ West. We get a starting athletic and highly skilled Hall of Fame pedigree tight end to start. Luke Kendrick can come in and fight for a position in the interior O-line if he moves Zion to center. I think that could be an option, or and let Luke play left guard. And I think that'll solidify the O-line, and then depends on what they do with Andre James and Bradley Bozeman. But I like the group there, and then add Antoine Powell-Ryland at the end of this to ultimately fill out the room and get an edge rusher at that fourth spot, so we can have a great rotation, a nice speed package coming into the second and third down and long situations to get after the quarterback. So I think I like this draft. I think if they went ahead and did consolidated things and got rid of Hayden Hurst, as you can see, I traded for, got rid of Trey Pipkins, as I see, I traded for. It was a lot. We gave up a lot of picks. I think we gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and in the next 2 years draft, 9 picks that move up. But I mean, you got to pay the cost to be the boss, so it is what it is. But let me know in the comments how you feel about this particular draft, and would you do this as a Chargers fan, and would you love this if the Chargers did this in 2 weeks' time? And as always, hit that subscribe button to never miss an upload, to always follow the most electrifying podcast channel on Chargers Network. And as always, you got to step up. So lock it down.